All right, hello. We're doing another virtual art exhibition, and I'm so glad to have Erin Brott-Holtzman here. Hello.
Hello.
You have
Hi,
brought
Jeff.
such beautiful pieces into our vestibule here.
Thank
And we
you.
have all this natural light pouring down. It's just fantastic.
Yes.
Whenever anybody looks at any of your pieces, color is going to be what comes to mind.
Yes.
More than anything, they're so vibrant. They're also natural landscapes. I believe that you had a show called Treading Lightly once.
Yes. At
And-
Gallery Camille.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're here, and this is Inhale, Exhale,
Yes.
the show here at the Ferndale Library. We're so glad to have you. I guess tell us what inspired that name. I think there's something very specific that these pieces can do when you look at them, right?
Yes. So these pieces were created over the past year, and the kind of like the fuel and the reasoning behind them was, we've all been going through an immense amount of chaos in the world.
I'd say so.
And these were a great way for me to have a little bit of control and to calm my mind and focus on something. All of the pieces in this series are from trips that I've actually taken over the past year.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. And so like having had the experience of like experiencing these spaces myself and the calm and sense of relief that they brought to me, I wanted to really like capture that through paint and through color and be able to kind of like give that back to viewers. And with each of these pieces, kind of like the title of the show or the name of the show being Inhale, Exhale, each of these three pieces are representative of like a breathing exercise specifically. I don't know if you're familiar with like, on Mindspace when like it's like the breathe bubble that's like going in and out and like really kind of trancing you into that shape and that space. I want each of these pieces to kind of do the same thing.
Yes.
And give you that same sense of like focus and consciousness, to just be able to have a moment within yourself.
You are an artist. You're also an art teacher. You have in your life much more experience with a variety of art. But I just have to say that if art can accomplish anything, or if I want any art that I'm looking at to have some sort of purpose, I really appreciate it when it is to bring me calm, or make me meditate or make me just feel more present. Not that all art has to do that, but let me segue into that. You are also an art teacher. What is that side of yourself like? How do you approach that versus your own work? Because you work with all ages.
Yeah, so I teach art, and I've been teaching art mainly to like kindergarten through 8th grade age range. And it's my 9th year doing that. And
That's great.
Heading into 10. And I think that being an art teacher and an artist and trying to like keep that practice has been something that has been really challenging for me, as I know it is for most art teachers. And so just over the past 2-3 years, I've really found kind of like my flow with my teaching practice to be able to have personal time and protected time for myself to make work. And so I think that being an art teacher, especially in the first few years, you really like give a lot of your creative energy to the kids that you serve. And
which is rewarding.
Yes.
Totally.
yes. But I mean, like a lot of your own creative energy gets expelled. And so it's been nice to feel like I'm falling into that craft a little bit more. I guess like I'm more well versed in my practice to be able to have time now for myself at home instead of lesson planning, to make my own work. So I feel like the pandemic kind of lended that time as well, since we've spent more time at home.
We spent 14 months 14 months at home.
Are you sure it's not more?
I think it must be. It's almost 15 months. I mean, it does feel like more. So that brings me to a stupid question that I should have started with. Were some of these created within that 14-month timeline, did you create these with that intention of, boy, people need a break?
Yes.
Yes. So,
yeah.
yes.
Mostly me. I needed the break. Like, and that's so it's funny that like you talked about the color of these pieces.
Yes.
When I was in college, I actually had a painting instructor when I was learning how to oil paint tell me that I was like really proud of these paintings. And he told me that my colors were too muddy, and I was like devastated. I was like, oh no, like what does that mean? Like muddy's not great. I can't assume it's great. Like
I think I know what that means.
yeah.
I think I know what that means. Thick, vibrant, I don't know.
So he was saying at the time,
Purple
like,
on purple on purple. Very purple.
I don't think I was like cleaning my brush enough.
Oh,
so
okay.
like the colors were getting all mixed together, which turns them brown.
Okay.
Essentially, if you mix all colors together. And so my colors were getting muddy.
That's muddy.
And,
I thought it was an abstract phrase.
So like mixing colors is such a focused process that for these pieces, like it was really mindful for me to just like have to focus on like, okay, what am I doing? What color am I trying to mix? Like getting into that zone. And then another like, I guess, word I think that could be used to describe my work is sometimes like I'll tend to overwork things because I'm in the zone, I'm focused, I'm moving.
Yeah.
And with these pieces specifically, I really tried to keep like the sense of calm with a sense of kind of like there's a lot going on, you know? So giving your eyes a break to be able to have that conscious thought to like, oh, okay, like there's calm space and then there's a lot going on to focus on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, it was really like, it was a very fun and like relieving process to be able to paint these over the past 14 months.
Yes. It's relieving for us to look at.
Yeah, thank you.
And what's interesting here is that you have, I think of aesthetics and I think of earth tones, greens and browns, and then I think of more the fiery tones, the reds and pinks and yellows. You kind of find this way to fuse them all together. We do get earthy, but we do get these pinks and purples. So it's just interesting what you got going on here. You got the whole palette.
Yeah. So I think within these shapes and these spaces, I wanted it to reflect more of like what the eye naturally sees. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like being in nature and being outdoors, you know, colors really are more vibrant, and like when you're able to super hyper focus on what colors you can bring out, especially if you think like in art history, thinking about Monet, like having spent an entire day outside to capture how the light and color changes like during a daytime and even into like the evening. It's interesting to like observe a landscape and see, even though you see like what your eye actually sees, like what other colors can you pull out, and what colors are visible in the landscape that you might not naturally like pay attention to. And so I think that to be able to kind of give like a dual view is something that I really focus on when I'm outdoors. And so that's
I love
really
it.
what they're representing, I guess.
I've been looking at your work all this time, and the word impressionist didn't come into my but you know, that is obviously a very famous style. We already name dropped Monet. Was that an influence on you? Is that something that you do like, or is that a word you shy away from? I'm getting into like categories and genres.
I think, you know, like as an art teacher, you know, teaching impressionism is something I've always gotten excited about. I think that movement in itself is like, it's exciting for me to see the colors that they were exploring in relation to the land. And I would say that's probably an influence, like an unconscious influence.
Sure.
And I don't always paint landscapes. I think that I've been really focused on them over the past few years because it's like there's so much to get lost in.
That's sort of where Treading Lightly was going to.
Yes. Yes. And it's been really mindful for me to just be in nature and like paint nature at home. Both, and sometimes using both, you know, like being in nature and painting, which, you know, is another entire
Sure.
art process itself.
I was
So,
also thinking of this fine line between, we say this a lot, I need to be more present. I'm trying to be more present in life.
mm-hmm.
I was trying to think about what that fine line between being more present and being more aware.
Mm-hmm.
You're inspired by these natural landscapes. You're inspired by all of this color that we might be ignoring in our everyday hustle and bustle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of accurate? Like this idea of not even just being present, but just being more aware, eyes open, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that like in the day-to-day bustle, I myself get very overwhelmed by, you know, daily
Sure.
responsibilities,
Right.
and, you know, weekly happenings, and like, you know, just everything that's going on in the world. It's hard to slow down and take time for yourself to really process the world around you and like what's happening. And art is kind of my way and my reminder to do that. It teaches me a lot, and you know, especially during the pandemic, like breathing is literally like something I forgot to do. I have a mask on, I'm teaching on a computer, I'm teaching in person, and like I sometimes literally forget to breathe.
I didn't start meditating until quarantine.
Yes,
and
same.
now I meditate. And now I'm breathing.
And I mean, it's something that we practice like with our students, and it's really rubbed off on me, and I see the value in it much more now. But to kind of like meld the two together, art and mindfulness, has been something that's been really rewarding for me. And I don't think I would have thought about art as a form of mindfulness for myself before the pandemic, but like it's truly been healing.
Doesn't that make it feel that much better for your creative practice?
Yes.
To know that this is actually restorative
Yes.
to not even the folks who look at it, to you. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I hope that people do get a sense of calm. I mean, I think people looking at this work has said like it's, you know, it's very psychedelic. It's very it's wow, like it's it seems like another world. Or I've even had responses like it's apocalyptic, and like I think that all of those are kind of kind of all related.
Oh yeah.
And so it's cool to see what viewers bring to the work as well.
Yeah. Okay, we've just moved our whole microphone situation over to this next piece. And Erin just told me that this is called Purple Rain. Not R-A-I-N though. R-E-I-G-N.
I mean, Queen Her Majesty.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wait, where did you go for this? This is a natural landscape.
Yeah, this is in the Grand Teton Range. Yeah, Shelby and I, my wife and I actually, we were on a hike. And while we were visiting this space, we were told by previous hikers that we had spoke with at the beginning of our walk that they had seen us across a field being being stalked by bears. And like, so I feel like the sense of fantastic awe and like maybe a little doom might shine through on this. We were like walking through like a blueberry field type of situation on the side of a mountain, and they were like, yeah, we were across the lake from you and the bears were just falling right behind you. I was like, great, we had no idea.
No idea. Blissfully ignorant.
Yes, blissfully ignorant.
This seafoam turquoise action going on here is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And it looked like maybe wherever your memory of this, your mental sort of photograph, it almost seems like it's getting to twilight.
Yeah. I think that my memory of this day is it was a rain hike. So like we were hiking in the rain. It was very hazy and moody and intense, but so beautiful. And the the views that you're able to take in when you're like in that kind of environment are just really overwhelming in like the best possible way. You forget about everything else going on. And one of the things that I really like about immersing myself in a hike or being outdoors is the sense that like nature is beautiful in its own right, but like she's also performing for you. You know, like she's always doing a dance, or like, you know, we were walking in a rainstorm, and like there's an activity that is just inherent in like the world that you get to take in. And that's kind of what this piece is showing, is like, you know, like just this place itself is beautiful, but if you allow yourself to like really be conscious in it, like it can do much more for you. And like there's more going on if you look for it.
Yeah, but again, going to that buzzword, impressionism, that sort of idea that I said, like, oh, Erin must have sort of taken a mental photograph and painted from memory. That we'd said psychedelic, dreamlike, apocalyptic, but this also just feels like you've captured the mystic chords of memory. And memories are always a bit foggy, right?
Yeah. I think I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
And so, like I record a lot of like mental images that are very like, when I see a photograph or when I see the painting, like it takes me right back there. All it takes is just a visual for my memory to really be engaged. And so, through painting this, like it's another really exciting way for me to kind of like be back in that space.
Yes. I'm going to use our camera to like sort of zoom in on this because you can't really see from that distance, but there is a rainbow glitter action going on in this sort of turquoise spell that nature is casting.
Yeah.
Are you just flicking the brush? What's going on here?
Actually, so all the paintings are made of oil and gouache paint.
And they're on wood.
Yes, they're on
not
wood.
on canvas.
And with the gouache paint, I don't even know if I'm correctly saying that right.
It's a fun word.
It dries incredibly quickly.
Oh,
and
no
so,
pressure.
Yeah. So for me, I had a lot of wasted paint, and I hate wasting paint. So I actually started to save the dried chunks, and I would just crumble them up and like use them like glitter.
That sounds great.
I felt like, why not?
Yeah, of course.
It adds an element. I mean, I love glitter. I love all that extra shiny stuff.
As do your students, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course.
Yeah, this is a beautiful show. It has a connective aesthetic, but yeah, I think that we should say that you've got more to your acumen. You've done. I have to say, I'm very impressed. Like a 60-foot mural on Livernois Street. Is it like it's like 60 feet long?
Yeah, that was a really big one. The process of painting that mural, it was my first mural that size. And just like being up on the scaffolding, painting in the sun was like the best. It was so fun.
How long did that take? Can I ask?
I think it took like full together, like maybe 6-7 days.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Patience and fortitude.
Yes. I feel like that for artists who like to be outdoors, that's the best possible, like, of both worlds, like painting outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for bringing that one up. It was special.
Got one more piece to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, Art Talk continues here with Erin Brott-Holtzman. Check this out. It's a fifth piece. What's this one called?
This one's called Extremophile.
Extremophile?
Yes.
It's just brilliant. Look at this orange carpet that's sort of laying across, I guess, a field. Wow, there's a lot going on here, and it's so pink and orange, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
So this piece is inspired by like the sulfuric landscape at in like the Yellowstone region.
Taking us all across the country,
right?
In this show.
Yeah. And I really, really think these landscapes are terrifying and like magical.
Yeah.
I don't know if have you ever spent any time in that area?
I haven't seen it or touched it, but I'm aware of it and I know what it is.
Yeah.
So I think your wording is great.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
One of the things, like science and art, are two things that like really inspire me. And so one of the things that I really love about these like sulfury landscapes, not only is like the color, but so this was memories from like a walk to Prismatic Springs, which is like beautiful. Absolutely. It's like a rainbow landscape. There's all these holes in the ground that are bubbling and all these different colors, but also there's all the signs that are like, you will literally dissolve if you walk off the trail. Like you will dissolve into the landscape. And so an extremophile is a microorganism that is able to thrive in those types of harsh conditions and heat and environments, which I think is like a really good analogy for like what we're experiencing
Exactly.
in life.
We've all had to
become extremophiles.
Yes. Fortify our souls and our emotions. Ugh.
Yeah.
Because it has been a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
We've all had to toughen up.
Yeah.
And it can feel like we're in harsh climes.
Yeah. And so that's really like what this one I hope like gives off is like that steamy, like kind of weird, mystical, even, you know, it's beautiful, but it's harsh a little bit. Yeah.
Like our everyday life right now, Erin.
Beautiful and harsh.
Beautiful and harsh, but I just want to take a deep breath. 4 in, 4 out. It's just inhale, exhale. We are so excited to have your work up here in the library. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be sharing these pieces throughout the month, so follow us on social media. We'll have links in the caption of this video when we post it. And thank you for watching, and thank you, Erin.
Thank you.